Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about all of my favorite luxury makeup products that I was loving in the year of 2017. I'm going to go through all of these luxury makeup products with you guys, letting you know why these are my favorite. I do have a long list of items to go through, so let's just get started. Also, if I keep looking in the viewfinder, don't mind me. I'm just adjusting some camera settings right now. I'm going to go in the order in which I usually apply my makeup. Usually I'm not a big primer person. In reality, I don't, wear primers every single day. So I'm going to skip that category because I don't really have a favorite luxury primer that I use. So I'm going to move on to foundation. The first foundation that I want to share with you guys is the Diorskin Forever Perfect Foundation. Now this one I actually got beginning of last year and I quickly fell in love with it. So this is the foundation that I'm wearing today. It looks absolutely gorgeous on the skin. It has a medium coverage and it has a little bit of a satin finish. It's not perfectly matte, not perfectly dewy. And I actually love this for special events. So actually my brother got married last year, and for all of the major events I wore this Dior Forever foundation. It looked absolutely beautiful in all of the photographs. So yeah, I'm gonna highly recommend this foundation to anybody who is looking for a good luxury foundation that is medium coverage and has like a more of a satin finish. So do check it out if you're in the hunt for a good luxury foundation. Next up, we have another foundation that I recently discovered. I am enjoying this foundation too at the minute. This is the Givenchy Matissme Velvet Foundation. It is a radiant matte foundation. These two foundations are somewhat similar. I think this one gives more of a coverage. This one is a little bit like a light to medium buildable coverage. This foundation, it's not going to make you look shiny, but it has that kind of satin finish as well, just like the Dior one. So I really enjoy this foundation as well. I've been wearing this off and on in the winter time now for about a month or 2 months, and I quite enjoy this. I have the third foundation for you, and this one actually didn't release last year, but I fell in love with it last year when I bought it. This is the La Mer Foundation Soft Fluid Longwear Foundation. Now this one is pretty much light coverage, I would say, light to medium buildable. It is lighter coverage than these two foundations, so this one is for those days when you really want to have like glowy skin. It's a nice dewy foundation and it is lightweight. I would highly recommend this for those of you who have more of a drier skin and love more of a dewy finish to their foundation. So moving on to concealers, my favorite luxury concealer this past year was the Kevyn Aucoin, I think it's Etherealist concealer. So this concealer is again what I'm wearing today, on top of my foundation. So this concealer is not full coverage, it is medium coverage. It glides on really smoothly, it blends in perfectly, and it doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look too thick. I love Tarte Shape Tape, but it can get too full coverage for me, and I usually prefer a medium coverage most days. I don't need a full coverage concealer. I can get away with a light to medium coverage concealer, so I really prefer this one. So next up we have powder, and this powder actually released last year, probably in early fall, and this is the La Mer powder. It's a sheer pressed powder, and I'm actually wearing it today as well. It looks really beautiful on the skin. It pretty much like mattifies the areas of my face. Yeah, it does a good job of like keeping the shine away. After 5 to 6 hours my skin might look a little dewy, but I love this powder. It doesn't feel like you're applying powder. It literally, like, I don't know how to say it. It looks blurred on the skin, but it is very finely milled. it's a really good product. It's expensive. It's very expensive, but it's worth it. I got it during the VIB sale in November, and I've been using it non-stop. It's pretty much worn down. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty much worn down. So I'm gonna share two of my favorite luxury bronzers with you that I was using this past year. This is the Guerlain Terracotta bronzer. That's what it looks like. Guerlain releases terracotta bronzers all the time, every single year, but this one is really special because usually their bronzers I've found, you know, a little bit shimmery, I guess, slightly shimmery. This one is fully matte, but you see the three kind of different shades over there, actually like a contour bronzer type of a deal. So it will give you that beautiful you know, like a mid-tone bronzer look. Like it's not too warm, not too cool. Like I said, because it's matte, I prefer more matte to satin bronzers rather than more shimmery bronzers. Another bronzer I'm going to share with you is the By Terry dual powder in the shade Mocha Fizz. That's what it looks like. Outside of this is a bronzer and the inside of this is a highlighter. So I've mostly used the bronzer portion of it. The highlighter is really subtle. You can even mix it in with the bronzer if you feel like it, but this is a perfect shade for me, and By Terry products are out of this world. They look so beautiful on the face. The powders they're really finely milled, like it blends effortlessly. That's what I love about these luxury powders, like they blend like a dream, like no other. Next we have blush, and a couple of blushes that I've been loving. One is, again, I'm gonna go in and talk about By Terry. This is the Sun Designer palette, and it's in the shade Tropical Sunset. I use this pretty much most of my summer. These ones you would think are too bright, but they're not actually. Like this pink is vibrant, but it goes on the face like pretty sheer. So you don't have to worry about it being too bright. Actually, this side is again my more favorite side, but I do use these shades as like a pop of color, you know, on the cheeks. So yeah, I used this pretty much all summer long last year, so highly recommend the By Terry Sun Designer palettes. She comes out with a variety of them every year. This was last year's edition and I really enjoyed it. Next up we have another blush. This is by Chanel, and this is a fall color because it released in the fall last year. This is 390 Burnt Coral. Look how beautiful that shade is. It is what I'm wearing on my cheeks today, but really beautiful blush. I don't know, it just makes you look warm, really cozy. It is that shade that we all love so much, those warm tones. So beautiful. Again, I've been wearing this non-stop since I got it last year. Cannot put it down. My favorite topic is to talk about highlighters. I have a few that I want to share with you. First up is Tom Ford. This is a duo called Reflects Guilt. These are two shades right here. One's more of a peach undertone and like one's more of a champagne. That's what I'm wearing today, this highlighter duo right here. It has that wet look that you want from a highlighter, so not much to say, no glitter, pretty much all just wet looking shine. So really love this, and it's very intense highlighter. Another favorite of mine is the Hourglass Ambient Strobe Lighting Palette. These are the shades right here. Again, super gorgeous. It has that wet looking highlighter look, blends in beautifully. Nothing bad to say about it really. It's just beautiful. So yeah, just thought I would talk about this one as well. Hourglass makes some of my favorite palettes. So one of the face palettes that I really wanted to show you is this Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. So this palette is different from the Strobe Lighting Palette. This has like blushes, highlighters, some powders and whatnot. And again, I use this palette when I'm going for a more subtle look. Like I'll use the palette, use the blushes. The highlighter in here is also really subtle, So if you're looking for an intense look, you might want to pick up this one. But otherwise, this is good for like a everyday kind of, you know, lit up, glow from within kind of a look. This palette is really good. Oh, I forgot to actually talk about another blush that was my favorite last year. This is a Tom Ford blush. This particular one is in the shade Inhibition. It's like a gorgeous light peachy kind of shade. You would think it doesn't show up on the skin, but it actually does, and it looks really pretty. Tom Ford revamped their blush formula, I think, and they released new shades as well. So this one is the one that I was really enjoying last year. Actually, go on to eye makeup, and let's talk about some favorite palettes that I was really enjoying last year. First palette I want to talk about is the PatMcgrath palettes that PatMcgrath launched last year. Again, she came out with these beautiful palettes. These are really bulky packaging. So this is one of the palettes that she released, and this is called Subversive. I only own this palette. She came out with 2 other palettes as well, but can I just tell you that this is luxury, like, to me, through and through. Packaging heavy, it feels luxury, and each eyeshadow in here is like a different formula. So some are like iridescent, some are more matte, some are you know, actual like satin, some are shimmer. So the shades, all in all, they're very different formula, and she killed it with these. One of my favorite palettes this year by far has been this PatMcgrath palette right here. It's a different palette, you know. We all have like our warm tone palettes and whatnot, but it's a different palette. It's more like an editorial palette, if you will, you know, because it has so many different textures. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying this at the moment. I'm going to talk about my favorite makeup brand. This is Natasha Denona. If you're a makeup lover, you already know how beautiful her eyeshadows are. Like, I have so many of her palettes right here. This is the new holiday palette. This was the sunset palette right here that came out in the summer, and everybody just went ahead and created dupes for this palette. It is stunning. And then in the fall, she released this beautiful baby right here. This is the Lila palette. Gorgeous purples. If you're going to invest in eyeshadow palettes, I would recommend use Natasha Denona. She has like a different range of palettes, like smaller palettes to bigger palettes. So, you know, depending on your budget, get a palette because you will not regret it. Apparently, I have more palettes from her. This is just the 3 that released last year. One other palette that I quickly want to talk about, and it's not really a palette, it's more of like a quint, Dior palette, and this is in the shade Hypnotize. Gorgeous kind of plum burgundy tones right there. It's what I'm wearing today on my eyes. You know, they're small, like, you know, they didn't need so much of this space right here. I wish they could have put more product, but for what you get, it is beautiful. I mean, we don't ever finish eyeshadow palettes anyways, so this is really pretty. Okay, talking about eyeliners, because we are on the topic of eye makeup. 2 of my favorite products that released last year. One is this Marc Jacobs Highliner pencils. They come in so many shades. This is the brown one I have. Great product. You can apply it to the waterline. It's waterproof. And yeah, it just doesn't budge, and it's like a creamy formula. It's more of a roll-up formula. Almost always use it in the waterline, lower lash line. It doesn't move at all. Another liner I want to talk about is the Victoria Beckham Estee Lauder liner. This actually released in 2016, but they re-released it last year when they relaunched, you know, the Victoria Beckham collection. So I just want to mention that. Great formula, really pigmented. Like, see how pigmented these are? Right there. Amazing. Just so creamy. It glides on so smooth. It's great for like under the eyes. We're going to talk about brows, and the only brow pencil luxury that I've been using last year is this Dior Brow Stylist. This is in the shade Universal Brown, and I like these kind of skinny pencil type liners. They are really good for drawing in the eyebrows. I have it on today. If you were talking luxury brow products, this Dior Stylist is a favorite for a lot of people, not just me, a lot of people. So highly recommend this one. Going to talk about my favorite lip products from 2017. A lot of brands released lipsticks last year, high-end, low-end, you know, lipstick galore. But these were some of my favorites last year. So first up we have Hourglass. Now Hourglass came out with, I think, this type of lipstick and another like really slim pen type lipstick. This is one of the ones that I got earlier in the year last year, and I really fell in love. It's what I'm wearing today on my lips. It's really moisturizing. These are your really comfort lipsticks, and I love this particular shade. This is in the shade Activist. It's one of your everyday kind of neutral pink type shades. It's really pretty. So next up we have Nars, and Nars released these PowerMatte lip pigments last year as well. This one is in the shade Under My Thumb, and the other one is Save the Queen. I have another shade, but I don't know where it is right now. These are your liquid lipsticks, and the great thing about these is that it's a little bit more liquidy than your usual liquid lipsticks. But what I find is that when you apply these, it'll feel a little bit watery, but then it will dry down and it won't dry out your lips. Like, it's a very comfort liquid lipstick formula. It doesn't transfer as much, which is why it's one of my other favorites in terms of liquid lipstick formula. Dior released these liquid lipsticks. These are permanent, and they are again like a really nice liquid lipstick formula. It's hard to describe these, more like a comfort matte. It won't dry down fully, but it looks really beautiful on the lips. The second one is this Dior Kohl lipstick formula. These ones were limited edition for the holidays, and this shade though, to die for. It's a gorgeous kind of berry shade, and it looks absolutely gorgeous on the lips. Okay, last product that I wanted to talk about is mascara. Now Marc Jacobs released this Velvet Noir mascara last year, and it is in this kind of a applicator. Now these applicators are similar to like the Too Faced applicator that I really like as well, the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, I think it is. Anyway, Velvet Noir mascara, really good, really volumizing. Just wanted to throw it out there. Great mascara if you are in the hunt for volumizing mascara, you know. So I think now I've actually finished the video. This was a really long video. I apologize, but I wanted to cover a lot of products that released last year and you know why I love them so much. So hopefully this video will be a guide for you if you're looking to buy some of these luxury items. You know, most of these are permanent releases. Some were limited edition, but most of these are permanent. So I'll list all of these products in the description box as well, so you can go check it out after this video. So if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe to my makeup channel so that you can come back here for more good content. Also, don't forget to hit the notifications bell so that you'll get notified whenever I post a video. And I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and